Alongside Javelina men's basketball coach Johnny Estelle, I'm Mark and Sarah for Javelina Athletics. As coach, you and your team are getting ready to play Cameron for 2 games here at the Spec after an unexpected week off for you guys, obviously after the games against West Texas that were postponed. Were there any positives or benefits you guys were able to take away from this extra time off?
Well, I think, sometimes you always can take the time for practice to fine-tune things. I know, it disrupted our routine. I was reminded yesterday that, it had been over a week since we played, which means when we played Friday. But, when you get in a rhythm and you get in a routine, especially for athletics and basketball in particular, that disruption sometimes can be a negative, but also it can be a positive because it gives you a chance to fine-tune some of the things normally you wouldn't do.
You're about a little bit more, I guess, now than halfway into this 20-game season, regular season with you guys at 9-1. How would you assess where your team is at basically the halfway point right now?
Well, I mean, you have to just look and see, are we playing up to our potential? And I think every coach has a high standard for their team. But if we're maximizing our potential, quite naturally, we're 9-1 and ranked 22nd in the country. Those are good things, but I think we can get better. And I don't mean that arrogantly. I mean that, there's different parts of the game that you constantly break down and you look at and you have to work to get better if you're talking about playing championship-level basketball. So that's kind of where we are. We're trying to not pay attention to the little things, or I guess what they would be big things for fans like the record or the rankings. We're trying to make sure we're fine-tuning where we are as a team, our chemistry, and the different little parts of the game that we got to get better at.
How frequently do you guys stress that regardless of what you guys have accomplished so far, the goal is to continue to get better and obviously try and make sure that this team is at its best when the end of the season and the postseason finally start?
Well, I mean, you just got to, like I said, look at things, focus on what's in front of you. You can't get enamored with all the other things. You only want, my father used to tell me this a lot. You want to step away from off the street, and so we have to take care, enjoy these moments that we have, but we have to focus on the little things, the one game, that one possession in front of us. So I think as a staff and as a program with our kids, we do a good job of that. We don't get too far ahead of ourselves. We don't live in the past. We continue just to focus on what's in front of us, and I think that's what keeps us humble and keeps us going in the right direction.
Since the last time you guys played, you've added another player to your roster, Tavion Johnson, who's a junior forward now on this squad. What are the things that he brings to this squad and to this program that made him an excellent fit for you guys?
Well, I mean, he's an extremely good athlete, but even beyond, he's a great kid. He has a very pleasing attitude, meaning that he's very grateful, very humble. But he brings a set of talents like a rim protector and defensively like we hadn't had since Robert Stevenson, as you know. Who led to I think he's the shot block leader in Javelina basketball history. But we missed that, but we had to play a little different last year. But now he gives us that back with that ability to protect the rim. He can run all day. He's a good athlete. He's a high energy guy. Coming in that semester sometimes is difficult. Coming up to speed to how we do things offensively and things like that is difficult. But if it's somebody that can do it, I know Tay can do it.
What are the challenges that Cameron brings with him that you guys have to be prepared for this week?
Coach does a great job, man. He's always done a good job of just putting together a good group of young men that play the right way. They're good in transition. They got several guys that can break you down off the dribble, which can put your defense in the rotation. I mean, they're a good shooting team. So, that's one thing about coaching in a great league. With good coaches, every team, every program presents a different set of issues. So they're different from, say, St. Mary's, the last team we played. They may not be as strong inside as St. Mary's, but they may be better on the outside. So our defense will be tested. Quite naturally, we've had this, week break in action. So we got to be sharp. We got to be good and be ready for the challenge.
Well, Coach, best of luck this week. Thanks for the time.
Hey, thank you.